Hello, welcome back everyone to my YouTube channel. Today is the third video of this Power Pages 30 days learning challenge. If you are new to this learning series, this is the new initiative I took this new year where I just wanted to cover all the topics related to the Power Pages from basic to advanced in the 30 days. And my plan is to cover all the topics related to the portals, be designing, all the advanced topics like liquid templates, how to write the code, so everything. So today we're going to discuss about the licensing. But before beginning to this session, a quick introduction about me. My name is Arpish Srivastav, and I'm a Microsoft MVP and MCT. I'm a Power Platform architect working in the Capgemini, Sweden. I have my website and my YouTube channel with the name Arpit Power Guide. So if you just wanted to follow me or the subscribe me to get notified about all the interesting stuff that I'm posting on my social media channel, you can just go and subscribe me on my YouTube channel and my website. Okay. So this is the agenda of my Power Pages 30 days learning challenge. 30 days, 30 videos I'm actually planning to produce, and first two videos have already been uploaded to my YouTube channel. So if you haven't watched them yet, so I would recommend just go and check them out. First video was about the introduction of the Power Pages, and the second video is about the components. Today is the last video of, I would say it's a theory session. So it is the last theory session. Then tomorrow, from tomorrow onwards, we're gonna discuss about all the things in the practical session. Okay. So we will set up the Power Pages trial. Then we will create our first Power Apps project, and we're gonna start the Power Page site development with the templates. Then we're gonna create the forms, list, multi-step forms, and so on. Okay. So licensing has always been a debatable topic, and it's quite confusing for all the salespeople who just wanted to purchase the Power Pages or the portals. And recently, Microsoft has updated the licensing as well. Okay, and as they already rebranded the product from Power Apps Portal to the Power Pages, so there are a lot of things has been changed from the licensing terminologies. So let's get into the session and we'll discuss about the licensing of it. So there are basically two types of licensing model we have. The first is the subscription based license and second is the pay as you go plan. Okay. So if you have to convert your trial to the production environment, okay, or the production portal, then you have two options, subscription plan and the pay as you go plan. Okay, now subscription plan is basically it is basically cost you based on the capacity. Okay, so capacity means like the volume of your portal site uses, the volume of the site uses and the volume of users basically. So if you have a if your site is going to be used by the large set of users, or if your site is going to be used heavily, then you should go with the subscription plan. Okay, and but if you're not sure about the users and you just wanted to pay for your portal based on the consumption basis, right? So then you have to go with the pay as you go plan. Okay, so it is basically depend on the consumption. So for example, like if you want to purchase a portal and only 5 to 10 users are going to use your portal, not frequently, probably uh, one 5 to 10 logins per month basis. So it's not necessary that you pay extra for all those 5 to 10 user who are just log in 5 to 10 times in a month, right? So subscription plan is basically for those when your portal usage is high and the number of users are also visiting your site are very high, right? Pay as you go plan is basically when you has the requirement where a portal is going to be used by the less number of user and you just wanted to pay for the portal on the consumption basis. All right. Now, the biggest question that everyone is have, like, how do I decide like which license option should I use? Because you have two options. One is capacity based, that is subscription plan, and the second is pay as you go plan, which is the consumption based plan. Okay, but how do I decide like which license option should I choose? Okay, so basically, when you have to decide, you should know the answers of the following questions. Okay. The first question is, do you already have any existing license? Because sometimes you always in a dilemma like what sort of licensing should I purchase? So the first question that you should ask, whether you are a salesperson or no matter whichever role you are working in your organization, if you have the question like which model or which pricing model you have to choose, the first question is existing license. Okay, so do you already have any existing license available in your organization or your environments like Dynamic 365? Power Apps per app license or the Power App per user license. Okay, because sometimes if you already have the license available that cover the Power Pages licenses as well, so you don't need to purchase any additional license for the Power Pages, right? So that is the first thing, because sometimes what happen is you are already using the Dynamic 365 or some other apps like sales app, customer service app. So you already have the Dynamics license or you already have the Power Platform license. So first you have to check like what existing license you have, and based on that you have to decide whether you have to purchase any additional license for the Power Pages, or your existing license is sufficient to go with that. Okay. Now the second question you have to ask like type of users. Okay, so obviously portal is something that is going to be used by the end users. That could be your internal users or that could be your external user or your customers, right? So what type of user are going to access your site mostly? Okay, so whether they are anonymous users, they are authenticated user or both, because portal pricing is depend on the type of users as well. So you should know better your audience, like who is going to register on your website and they will log into the website to get the information, or who is going to access your portal anonymously, right? So in the upcoming slides, I'm going to discuss about that, because authenticated and anonymous are basically depends on the licensing a lot. So you need to decide which type of users are going to use your website most. Okay. The third question that you should ask is site uses. As I told you in my earlier slide, the volume of your site, that how many users are going to access your site, or whether your site is being used heavily by the multiple users, or your site are going to be used very rarely, right? So what would be the approximate volume of your site access, or how many users will visit your site on the daily or the monthly basis? Okay, because sometimes, so for example, if you are creating a retail website, or you are creating a Power Pages site for the retail customer, where where on the daily basis 100 to 200 users will visit the sites just to watch all the products that you have, and then they want to order from your website and they want to make the purchase as well. So in the retail website where you're expecting 100 to 200 users per day, then obviously the site usage is high. But sometimes let's say you are creating a training portal or an event management portal, where every 6 months you organize the events. So you ask the audience or the participant to register for the events, but you are doing it only for the 6 months. Every 6 months you are doing. So obviously same like the Microsoft Ignite event, right? So it happens every 6 months, or Microsoft announce any events like or any release update. So they announce it through their portals. So then only the site usage is quite high. Then only when the Ignite is there, then user registered on the portal, then the site usage is quite high. Then rest of the 5 months, the site usage is not that much, right? So you have to decide like how your site usage is going to be. Okay. Then the last question is your predictable cost. Okay. So do you want to know the predictable cost of your portal site, or want to pay based only when the user accessing the website? Okay. So it's up to you. You have to decide like you need an approximate cost that okay, I'm creating a website, I'm creating a portal website, and my site is going to be used by the thousands user. So what should be the predictable cost of it? Okay, so if you already know, if you already have the prediction of that in your mind, like how many user is going to be used by the website, or how much the site uses is going to be, then you can decide or you can do the predictable cost as well. Okay, but you only want to pay for the portal based on the number of user is visiting your website, then you have to go with the other option. So predictable cost is also a major factor to decide whether you have to go with the subscription based plan or you have to go with the pay as you go plan. Okay, so these are the four questions. Based on that, you can decide your portal pricing model. All right. Now, subscription plan. So let's discuss more about the subscription plan. So as you know, like this is the plan where that gives you the predictable cost, and it's a volume based plan basically. Okay. Now they are basically distributed in two types: authenticated user and for the anonymous user. So for authenticated user, so the difference between authenticated and anonymous is authenticated users are those who are logged into your website, and anonymous users are those who are not logged in on your website and browsing through all the pages that is being exposed, publicly. Okay, so they don't need to register on the website to view the information. So for authenticated user, the subscription plan cost is $200 per capacity pack per site per month. Okay, so the cost of the portal basically decided based on the pack, the capacity pack. As I told you, the subscription plan is basically the capacity based plan, and the pay as you go plan is basically the consumption based plan. Okay, now so $200 for the authenticated user per capacity pack per site per month. Now you may have the question like if I pay $200, if I purchase the $200 per capacity pack per site per month, how many users I'll get it? Okay, so that I will discuss about that in my next slide, because $200 is basically the per capacity pack. So basically you have to purchase the portal license in the form of packs, in the form of capacity packs. Okay, same for the authenticator user and same for the anonymous user. For anonymous user, you have to pay $75 per capacity pack per site per month. Now per capacity pack, how many user you get it, you can understand by this picture. Okay, now for authenticated user, in the one pack, in the one capacity pack, you get 100 plus users. Okay, and for that you have to pay $200. And if you're expecting, more than 100 user, or if you're expecting more than, 10,000 users, then you can purchase the 100 packs, user packs capacity pack, the license, and it cost you the $75. Okay. And then again, if you are expecting, 1 lakh users or more than that, then you can go with the 1000 capacity packs plan, and this will cost you the $50. Okay, so now you can imagine like if I have to purchase, or if you have to go with the subscription based plan, you have to decide the capacity pack. Okay, and capacity pack is basically depend on how many users are going to access your website. So for 100 user, one pack; for 10,000 users, it's a 100 pack; and for 1 lakh user, it's a 1000 packs. Okay, and same with the anonymous users as well. Okay, for anonymous user, one pack is basically contains 500 users. So if you have the expectations like the 500 users is going to access your website in a particular month, then you can purchase the one pack, one capacity pack that will cost you $75. And if you're expecting 10,000 around of users, then you can purchase the 20 pack license. And 1 lakh users, you can purchase the 200 packs capacity pack license. Okay, so it basically depends on the pack, and pack is basically the group of users. So in this, you will get the predictable licensing model. And if you already have the expectations, or if you already have prediction in your mind that how many users are going to access your website, so based on that, you can simply, calculate the things, and you can purchase the license based on the packs. Okay, so this is about the subscription based license. That is basically the capacity based license, and you have to purchase the license based on the capacity packs. Okay, now if I talk about the pay as you go plan, so it's kind of, it's kind of the recharge kind of things, right? So the way you recharge your mobile, it depends on how much recharge you are doing in your mobile. You can use that for a particular week or for a particular month, right? So this is basically for the business seeking the option to pay only when a user access a website. So whenever you use it, you will consume the website, then only you have to pay. OK, but in the subscription plan, it doesn't matter. For example, I am the user who is accessing the portal, but I only access the portal only one time in a month. It doesn't matter, right? I have to pay complete payment for that. OK, but in the pay as you go plan, if I'm using only 5 times in a month, then I have to pay only for the 5 times login. OK, this is about the pay as you go plan. So same like the subscription, it is not the capacity pack based. It is basically the per user based. OK, so for authenticated user, you have to charge. You are basically charging $4 per user per site per month. OK, and for anonymous user, you have to give the charge of 0.30 per user per site per month. OK, so all the charges that you are giving are basically on the per website per month. OK, so if you have the multiple website, then this charge will be doubled. OK, but the only difference between the pay as you go and the subscription based plan is that here you can see it's a per user, but in the subscription plan is for per capacity pack. OK, it's a per user basis. Now, is there any difference in Power Pages features and storage provided for authenticated and anonymous user? So as I told you, like in the subscription plan and the pay-as-you-go plan, it is basically differentiating the cost based on the user type. So whether it's an authenticated user or the anonymous user. So you may have the questions like, is there any difference in the features? So for example, if the anonymous users are accessing the portal, is there any difference that they can feel compared to the authenticated user and the vice versa? So yes, there are small difference between the features and the capacity you get it if you compare the authenticated user and the anonymous user. So since an anonymous user is not going to, log in or register to the website, so they are not going to use any sort of identity provider. So you can see here the access to authentication provider will not be there for anonymous user. So authentication provider that you have is, the Microsoft, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Azure AD B2C. So these kind of things you obviously not going to use for the anonymous users. But rest of the things you will get it for anonymous user and authenticated user both. But there is a small difference in terms of the storage as well. OK, so if I talk about the storage is a bit less for the anonymous user license compared to the authenticated user. So if you are purchasing either subscription based or the pay as you go based. So if you are purchasing it for the authenticated user, then you will get 2 GB database capacity. OK, along with that and the 16 GB file capacity. OK, but same for the anonymous user, you get only 500 MB database capacity and the 4 GB file capacity. So this is the basic difference between the authenticated user features and the storage and the anonymous user features and the storage. OK, now let's understand the licensing with some real-time examples. So this information you can find it on the MS Learn also and some other articles publicly as well. There's Microsoft has also announced in the MS Ignite as well. So you can find that information, but let's understand this with some real-time examples so that you can also understand that how much you have to pay if you have a particular Power Pages installed in your environment. OK. So first of all, let's discuss. I have just taken the example, like let's say you have the 3 websites in your environment, website A, B, and C, and this environment is now enabled for subscription based license. OK, so I've just taken the example of website A. You can just ignore the website B and C for now. So let's say for website A, I'm just calculating the cost for the 3 months. So for example, the website A month in the first month, the 90 users are going to use those Power Pages site. And in the second month, 80 users are going to use it. And in the third month, the 100 users are using that. OK, so now it's up to you. You have to decide that whether you have to go with the subscription based plan or you have to go with the pay as you go plan. So now you can imagine like 90 users are using in the 1 month. So if you go with the pay as you go plan, then 90 multiply by 4, right? Because it was $4 per user per month, right? So per $4 per user per site per month. That means 90 multiplied by 4, it's a $360, right? But if you go with the subscription based plan, or if you purchase the capacity pack 1, which contains the 100 user, so you have to pay only $200, right? So you have to very carefully decide like whether you have to go with a subscription or you have to go with the pay as you go based on the calculation. So if my website is going to be used by, obviously you cannot decide that how many users are going to use. You can only predict that thing, right? But you are creating your website, so you can imagine, you can also predict that as well, that how many users are going to use it. So if approximately that comes under the 100, then you can purchase the capacity pack 1 subscription based license, and you have to pay only $200. Same goes with the month 2. In the month 2, the 10 user got reduced and it has been used by only 80 users. So again, you purchase the license for capacity pack 1 and you again pay $200. And then the month 3, the 100 user use, so have again purchased the capacity pack 1 for 100 user. So at the end of the, if I calculate the complete 3 months payment, so it could be the $600 for 3 months. OK, obviously it's not the actual price amount. There could be some add-on or some pricing less as well. So it's subject to a lot of things that you can find it on the MS Stocks articles, but approximately $600 you have to pay for 3 months. OK, so this is how the subscription based license you can calculate. Now, if I have to calculate the pay as you go pricing. So now let's imagine you have 3 websites in your environment, website A, B, and C. And this environment is now enabled for pay as you go pricing. OK, so you want to pay for the portal pages for each website based on pay as you go. So here you can see in the website A, in the month 1, the user 1 and user 2 had accessed that website. OK, in month 2, no one has accessed this website. And in the month 3, 1 and 2 access the website. OK, now if I talk about the website V, user 3, 4, and 5, these are the 3 unique user who access the website B in the month 1. But in the second month, no one has used that. In the month 3, user 1 and 2 use that, not the 3, 4, and 5. Website C was used by 6, 7, 8, 9 user in the month 1. Month 2 they didn't use, and in month 3 only user 1 and 2 have used that. OK, now here you can see like in the month 1, in the first month there is no unique, all the users are unique one. OK, so website A in the month 1, 1 and 2. Website B was used by 3, 4, and 5, and website C was accessed by 6, 7, 8, and 9, right? So all the users are unique in a month 1, but in the month 2, no one can access that. So obviously you don't need to pay for it. But in the month 3, the users are not unique. The user 1 and 2 have accessed the website A, they have accessed the website B, and they have accessed the website C, right? So now how you gonna pay for this pay as you go license? But first of all, you should focus on the month 2, right? If you go ahead with the subscription based plan, right, and you purchase, you imagine like in the month 2, I'm expecting like 200 user will be accessing my website. So you just purchase the license for 200 user, probably the 100 packs license you have purchased. But imagine like no one has access your website, right? Due to some holiday, Christmas holiday or the New Year, no one access your website, but still you are paying for that, right? So this is about the capacity based license. This is the subscription based license. But if you are purchasing the pay as you go pricing in the month 2, you don't need to pay anything. So if you can see here in the third column, in the month 2, the website is not being accessed by anyone. So I don't need to pay anything. OK. But in the month 1, I have 9 active users and all those 9 active users were unique, right? So I have to pay for all 9 users. So I have to multiply 9 by 4 because for individual unique user, I have to pay $4 per user per site per month, right? So since I have 9 unique user, So if the one same user is accessing my all the website, then I don't need to pay again and again for that, right? But here, if you can see website A, B, C has all the 9 users are unique one. OK, so 9 multiplied by 4 for each individual user, I have to pay $36. OK, but now just see about the month 3. OK, in the month 3, the website A was used by user 1 and 2. And website B again used by the user 1 and 2, and the website C is used by again 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 are the unique, are not the unique users for website A, B, and C. OK, so they are considered as a two users only. They are not considered as a 9 users. But since it's a 3 website, so you have to multiply 2 by 3, right? So you have to 6, then you have to multiply 6 by the $4 per user per website. OK, here the count is 6. Why? Because per website there are only 2 users are count. But since the license is being basically cost based on the per website, so per website you have 2 user. So 3 website you will have 6 users, right? So 6 user you have to pay $24 per user per website. So this is basically how the pay as you go pricing goes. OK, so hope you understand like how the pay as you go pricing and how the subscription based license works. Now, there are some licensing FAQs. There are some of the questions are there related to the licensing because it's not that easy as you are thinking, because sometimes you already using the Power Apps portal, you already have the environment set up and you already have the license available. You have the mix and match of the Power Pages site. So you have a lot of questions related to the licensing. So since if you are starting everything from the scratch, then it looks easy. But since if you already have some products available, if you already have the Power Platform license, you're already using the portals, then you may have a lot of licensing questions. Then the first question is, what is an authenticated user and how are authenticated users per website per month calculated? OK, so the answer is authenticated users are basically the user who obtain the secure access to a website by logging through the various types of identity provider. It could be Azure AD, B2C, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, anything, right? So those who are logged into the website are called authenticated user. Now, authenticated user per website per month are basically calculated as a unique user. Now, you may imagine like how the Microsoft decide like this is the unique user. OK, so they basically decide basically based on the unique ID of the contact record. So whenever I register on the portal, then there is a contact gets created in the Dataverse, and that contact unique ID is basically my unique identifier. So if I have registered on the portal and within a calendar month, if I am login 100 times, 200 times, it doesn't matter. OK, so I have my organization do not have to pay multiple times for a single user. OK, the one time I have registered, my ID has been identified. Now the next time onwards, my licensing will not be count for a particular span of calendar month, right? So this is about the authenticated user licensing. The second is how same like the authenticated user. What is an anonymous user and how are anonymous user pricing calculated? So anonymous user are user who browse a website and they don't log in onto the portal. So it's quite easy thing. But anonymous user per site month are calculated as a unique user who access one or more anonymous pages of the website in a calendar month duration. Now for the authenticated user, you can identify their uniqueness by its contact ID because they are registering on the portal. But how you identify the anonymous user identity? So the uniqueness of the anonymous user is basically determined through the unique anonymous user ID stored in the browser cookie. OK, so some of your information gets stored in the cookies, and based on that, Microsoft determine whether this user is the anonymous, unique anonymous user, or they have accessed the site multiple times. OK, but just make sure like if the user access the site using some different browsers or the devices, or they clean up their browser cookie or the history, then obviously the anonymous user ID is not generated, and anonymous ID will not be generated and the user will be counted as a different user. Okay, so this is about the anonymous user. Now the next question is, if a user accesses site anonymously and then logs into the site in the same session, will the user be counted as a both as an anonymous user and the authenticated user? This can also be a question for you, right? If they anonymously access the site, now they are registered on the portal, then how they have counted as an anonymous user or as an authenticated user? So the user has already accessed a site in both an as anonymous and a authenticated manner in the same session, or even within the same day, the user will be only counted as authenticated user, not a anonymous user. OK, so you just need to just keep in mind within a 24 hours of time, no matter how many times you access that particular website anonymously, one time if you have registered on the website, then you will cost as an authenticated users only. Next question is, access to my website is authenticated. However, it has an anonymous login page. Do I need to purchase anonymous user subscription? OK, so no, login page access is not counted for the calculating anonymous user. So if the user or so if the only anonymous page is sign in page, then it will not require anonymous user subscription to be purchased, right? Because after all, you are counted as authenticated user. You are going to register on the portal. So or just only for the sign in or the login page, not only for the sign in page, some other pages like registration page, redeem invitation page. These are the some of the exceptions. For those pages, you don't need to be charged additionally. However, it is important to ensure that rest of the site is made authenticated. This can be done by using page level permission. OK, on the home page and only making it available for authenticated user role. OK, so if any other method is used, like using a client side scripting just to redirect the page, then you have to pay additionally for that as an anonymous user. Because what happens sometimes is you are a developer and you want like if the user if you don't want user to access a particular page, you write the JavaScript, right? But JavaScript actually works on the client side. That takes you to that page, then run the JavaScript, then you go to the another page. But in the background, you anonymously access that particular page, right? So you have to pay extra for that. So make sure if you don't want to give the access to a particular page, just use the page label permission. Don't go with the JavaScript. Otherwise, you have to pay those pages for the anonymous users. OK. Now the next question is, does Power Pages licenses include database storage? So this I've already discussed that. So database storage is basically available along with your Power Pages because Power Pages store all the components, all the data in the Microsoft Dataverse only, right? So you obviously need the Dataverse storage, but the database storage, how much you are getting, it depends on your plan. So if it is a subscription based plan you have purchased, then at the tenant level, you get 5 GB and at the per capacity or the database you get the 2 GB and the file storage you will get the 16 GB. So this is for the authenticated user for subscription based plan. For anonymous user at tenant level you get the 5 GB and for database storage you will get the 500 MB and file storage you will get this 4 GB. Now, if I check the pay as you go plan, you don't get any sort of tenant level capacity. You don't get the tenant level, storage. OK, you only get the environment level storage and the file storage. So for authenticated user, it's 1 GB file storage and database both. For anonymous also, it's a 1 GB. So there is no difference in that. Now, what are the Power Pages use rights, including with Power Apps and the Dynamic 365 licenses? OK, so let's say you already have the Power Apps and the Dynamic 365 license available. As I already told you that you always need to check your existing license. Then what are the Power Pages use rights include? So if you already have the Power Apps per user per app plan or Dynamic 365 license, then how you can access the portal without purchasing the license? OK. So this is the way. Authenticated user license with the Power Apps or Dynamics 365 Enterprise license are granted use rights for Power Pages as below. So first is if you already have the Power Apps per app licensed user. So that means you don't need to purchase any additional license like subscription based or the pay as you go based license. for the Power Pages. You already have the per app license, then you can access one Power Pages website. If you have the Power Apps per user licensed, then you can use the unlimited Power Pages website per environment. Okay. If you have the Dynamic 365 Enterprise license, then again, you have the unlimited Power Pages website license. But make sure like these website must map to the licensed Dynamic 365 application context and map to the same environment in which you have that particular Dynamics application, right? So it's the environment, they are stick to a particular environment. So if you already have these licenses available, you don't need to worry about that because you already got the access to the Power Pages. So always just keep in mind before purchasing the license, whether you already have the license available or not. OK. Next question, if I'm building a Power Pages website for my employees who will log in using their Azure AD credentials, what Power Pages license do I need? OK, because it might be possible that you are creating a portal for your customer, but your internal users who are already using some of your Dynamic 365 application or the Power Platform components, and they already have the Azure AD credentials. So do I need to pay for them as well if they want to log in on the portal? So again, it depends on what type of license they have. OK, so if they already have the Power Apps per app license, then they can access only one website per environment. If they have the per user license, then they can use the unlimited website per environment. If they have the Dynamic 365 license, then definitely they can again unlimited access of the Power Pages website. And these are the two kind of Power Pages license they have. If they have the Power Pages subscription based license, they can access only one Power Pages site, or if they have the pay as you go meter, then based on number of logins, they have to pay for it. OK. So most of the cases, sometimes you want like you don't want to give the the Power Pages additional license to your internal user. So sometimes if they want to access the portal just for just to view some of the data, then you first need to check whether they already have these Power Apps per app, Power Apps per user, or Dynamics license. Because if they have already been used, if they already have been using the Dynamics application or the Power Platform, they must already have the license, like the per app license, per user license, or the enterprise license. So if they don't have this license, then you have to check whether they have the Power Pages license or not. OK, so this is the things you have to keep in mind before the user are going to use the Azure AD based credentials. Another question, do I require additional license for Power Pages content delivery network and the web application firewall capability? So these are the two new security feature that Microsoft has included or incorporated in the Power Pages recently. So a lot of folks has a question like whether I need to pay extra to enable this feature. So answer is no. Both CDN and WAF capabilities are included as part of Power Pages licensing. So you don't require any additional license to be purchased. So you just go to the Power Platform Admin Center or Power Pages Admin Center, and you can just simply enable these two features for your particular website. Now the next question, can I mix Power Pages subscription license and the pay as you go license meters in the same environment? Is it possible? Because there might be the you might have a question like, can I mix and match both kind of licensing? So the Power Pages subscription license cannot be used with the pay as you go environment. So you have to decide first. You have to ask all these questions that I have already given in my slide decks. So you have to do a homework first, that you have to do the calculation first. You have to first identify, you have to do all sort of predictions. Then you have to decide whether you have to go with the subscription or whether you have to go with the pay as you go, because you cannot merge both this licensing model. OK, then do unused Power Pages subscription license like authenticated per user and the anonymous per user carry forward to the next month. So is it possible? So for example, like I have purchased, one capacity pack subscription based license. And in that we got the 100 user logins, right? So sorry, not the logins. I got the license for the 100 users, but only 40 to 50 users have already used the portal. Rest of the 50 users have not used the portal. So can I carry forward them? So that is not possible, obviously. So Power Pages are basically licensed at the monthly basis. OK. and that is based on the customer anticipated user volume. So they are not accumulated as a individual assets and would not be carry forward month to month. Okay, so it is basically on the monthly basis. Once your month ended, then your the capacity pack will also be landed. Okay. Now, what are the scenario in which a user is not counted as an anonymous user, even though the user browses an anonymously page on the website? So this is very, very important, and a lot of people or the portal developer have the confusion because there are some of the pages on the portal you access it anonymously, whether you are doing the development, whether you are doing the testing. So in that case, do I need to pay for these sites? So first thing, any access of a website running in the trial mode won't be counted. Okay, so if the portal is on the trial mode, so obviously you don't need to pay for the trial mode portal. Any access of a website running in a private mode won't be counted. Okay, so this is the new feature that Microsoft incorporated, because in the earlier version of the portal, once you install the portal, if anyone knows the URL of the portal, they can access that, whether it's the internal organization user or your outside organization user. But now you have the option to keep it private, so that until you are making it public, then if you're making your website public, then only it will be accessible to the the outside audience of your organization. Okay, so if their website is in the private mode, so usually we choose the private mode unless until your website is in the development phase, right? So you don't want to make available that website to the external audience until you are doing the development. Okay, so private mode won't be counted. Pages related to the login. So for example, you have some of the pages like sign in, registration, invitations, and some other pages, forget password, something like that. So these pages will not be counted. Okay, so because these pages are part of the authentication. So you don't need to pay for these pages as anonymous users. System pages, like sometimes you have some of the pages that Microsoft has provided, for example, like clearing the cache. So you need the underscore services slash about. So these kind of pages also you don't need to pay for it. If the page returns any sort of response like 300 status, 400 or 500 status response, then also that page you don't need to pay for it. Bots and crawler accessing the anonymous pages of the website is not counted. And if there is a monitoring system set up to test the website availability periodically, because you may have the questions like before you're going live with your website or the Power Pages site, you just wanted to do the performance testing, or you just wanted to do some monitoring on your website. So it will be the removed if it is sent a non-browser user agent. So in case you are monitoring your system or you are doing the performance testing, then send a user agent that is only standard browser, then it will be counted. So if you are monitoring your website periodically, it will be removed if it sends a non-browser user agent. Okay. So but if it is trying to access your website through the browser, then definitely you have to pay for it. And the last one, if the user is accessing only static resources like CSS, JavaScript, images, so that will also not be counted as part of anonymous page website. Okay. So these are all the the FAQs that are most commonly asked on the community forum. So I try to combine them in my session. So thank you so much. This is all about the licensing of the portal. So if you still have any questions, you just feel free to post it in the comments. I'll try to answer them. Okay. And thank you so much for your love and for your feedback. And I just want to tell you, like in the next video, I'm going to discuss about, not, it's not a theory session. In the next session, it's a practical session, basically. So from the next session onwards, we're going to have the live session. We will create a portal trial, and we'll start creating our first portal website. And whatever we have learned during these 3 days, we have, we have the practical sessions of all these sessions. So we're going to create the forms, then we're going to create the list. A lot of things are there. Okay, so thank you so much, and just wait for the next video. Till then, just take care, and stay safe. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.